So I thought he was doing that for you. I would sign up for that.
I don't want to go to the post office, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, true. Very true. Allison, I'm gonna mute your phone because there's a lot of background noise. So feel free
Not
to
a problem.
unmute.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good.
Sharon, welcome
We'll
back.
get started in a moment. Good morning, Nabil. How are you?
Good, and you?
Very good.
Just gonna put my lights on.
Kind of a dark and dreary day.
Good morning, Hayam.
Morning, Alex.
For what?
Hey, Tom, good morning. I saw Roy come in somewhere. Oh, there he is. Hi,
There he
Roy.
Good morning, Wendy.
guys.
Hi, Alex.
Good
Morning,
morning,
folks.
Thomas.
Unfortunately,
one and all.
10
Trust that
o'clock
everyone is
today,
doing
so I'll
well.
be
Good morning,
leaving out
Tress.
early.
Hi, Tress.
We have a couple more people coming in, but we can get started momentarily.
I'm just going to throw this out there. So we have a gala coming up on November 10th. This is our first actual virtual attempt at a virtual event, but we're looking to recognize a couple people in the community who early on in this pandemic really rose to the occasion and helped QCP out. So Tress doesn't know this, but she's getting a You Are Amazing award from QCP for all the meals that she supplied into our residences early in the pandemic. And so Tress, I just let the cat out of the bag.
It's so lovely. Thank you so very much. I am
You
honored.
deserve it. So
Honored.
Tress said, how many meals was that? For every Friday for a couple months, she was sending 125 meals into our residences or more, taking care of our staff, of people who lived in our houses, taking care of just everybody.
It was 132, so I think we were up to 1,000 plus meals we had delivered.
Wow, that's amazing, and we thank you. So you are amazing, and we're looking forward to honoring you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure and my honor. Hi, Mr. Jerry. We're chasing meetings, I see.
We're what?
Jared, I was just on the 1 million cups meeting, so I saw him over there a minute ago.
Oh.
We were over the 1 million cups, so
Yeah, long time no see.
I know.
How you doing there?
Very well.
Okay, we can get started. So there might be a couple more people wandering in, but hi, I'm Alex, and with me is Wendy Paff, and we are with QCP's Development Department. And just a little bit of background about this meeting. There he is. Okay. So we started this meeting in March at the beginning of the pandemic, after we had started an in-person breakfast meeting along these lines. And of course that stopped. So this has been going on weekly since then, and it's developed a nice loyal following. It's mainly people in business in Queens and Nassau and some in Manhattan. And, you know, we are evolving. Good morning, Jay. How are you?
Morning, how are you?
Hi, good. So anyway, you know, what we're trying to do is provide a sort of a forum for people to meet, network, do business with each other, and just hang out. We do this every Wednesday from 9:30 to 10:30. If you have friends who are in business you think would be interested in joining, please invite them. You send them my information and I'll give them the login information. We're also looking to add an entrepreneur, meet the entrepreneur segment. And today we have two people who can give a little preview of what they might be talking about on a more formal basis. But, you know, would like to make this an opportunity for people who've launched businesses to get a little bit of a platform and feedback from some of the people in the audience. So before we get started with those folks, I want to just go around the room and ask the people who are new to just give a thumbnail description, the elevator speech, and then we'll move on to a couple of presentations. We have with us this morning Federico and Jay, who are going to be talking a little bit about the businesses that they started in response, well, maybe not entirely in response, but during the pandemic. And then, you know, we'll get your comments. So Tony Foy, would you please introduce yourself? And everybody, please put your contact information in the chat window, and I'll make this recording available to people after the meeting in case you want to, with the chat information, in case you want to connect. So Tony, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Tony Foy. I am the Education and Outreach Coordinator for LaGuardia Performing Arts Center, LaGuardia Community College in Long Island City. And we basically we produce theater. We work hand in hand with the academic community of the college. And our focus is basically social justice. So the pieces that we do are focused on that and try to be very interactive with the community of the college as well as in Long Island City.
Thank you. Lisa Hanna.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hanna, and I'm an accounts representative for the Wave newspaper in Rockaway Beach, Queens. And I really enjoy this invite, and I'm looking forward to listening to hear everybody's shares and be a part of this. Thank you.
Okay, Allison Case, we can't hear you or see you, but if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself. Allison, are you with us? Hi, Allison.
Good morning, all. Good morning. I apologize for the background noise. I'm making my way into the office.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to say thank you for the invite for this event. I'm very excited to be a part of it. As digital editor of The Wave, we're constantly looking for ways to extend our reach and to connect with people, like-minded people who are looking to do some really great things within the communities. We have as well evoked into more mission-based projects, helping the food insecure of the community, as well as taking on the Feeding the Frontline endeavor. And it's just amazing to be able to advocate for a community that is so vibrant here in Rockaway, Queens. So again, thank you, and I look forward to joining further.
For those who don't know, please explain what The Wave is.
Sure. The Wave is Rockaway's newspaper that's been in print for the last 127 years, if I'm getting that correctly. I've been on staff for about a year. It has been a vibrant part of the community. People who live in Rockaway typically are a generational community and have seen themselves in the paper. They connect with the paper, they interact. And now on a digital front, we are getting a heightened sense of engagement and understanding what it is that our readers want. And it's a very interesting microcosm on both west and east sides of the peninsula. Very different economic systems, very different perspectives. It's incredibly interesting to see the community in all of its diversity.
Yeah, there was an article about Breezy Point in the Times this morning.
I saw it.
Okay, so thank you for those short intros. I'd like to move on now to some of our, let's call them entrepreneurs, and give them a chance to just give a little bit of a preview of what they are doing, what led them to do it, and then we can invite them back to give more of a Shark Tank type presentation. So I'm going to start with Federico, and then I'll move to Jay. Federico, would you please introduce yourself? Tell us what you're doing, how you got to this point, and take it away.
Yes, hi everybody. My name is Federico Bertet, and thank you so much for having me here. I'm an athlete and an actor and a stuntman, and turned to be an entrepreneur because we had to adapt. And so what happened to me is simply I created my own healthy power bites. Let's say I was always looking for like a very healthy snack. I love to cook, I'm Italian, but also very active at the same time. And I never found anything that it would work for me. Like all these energy bars out there, or they don't taste great. If they taste great, they're full of sugars. And to me, the worst thing of all, it was that I would never eat the entire thing. I would just have a little bite and then go back to play beach volleyball or training my martial arts or doing stunts. And I would forget about it, or I leave it in the bag and go home and my wife would yell at me there is chocolate everywhere, or put it in the pocket. It never worked. So I got to the point that I was tired of that. And so I loved cooking. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I can put something together for myself. And I did. So I did. And then I put in a little resealable bag. And I brought it with me everywhere. While I was training at the gym, I have some clients on sets. And everybody kept on asking me like, oh, those are very good. Why can we have some? Like, why don't you sell it? Why don't you sell it? I was like, I have a lot to do. And it turned out that, it was actually like a good way and a good business to start. And with a series of coincidence with people that really helped me out to create something like that, now I'm the founder of Rico's Power Bites. Here they are, and they come in a resealable and eco-friendly bag. Literally 5 ingredients. Like this is the peanut butter chocolate. And yeah, I mean, this is literally what I did for myself, but it turned out to be a business, and mainly launched right before the COVID started. And that was a little bit of a hit because a lot of my clients were gyms, and unfortunately they all closed down. So now, of course, we have to adapt to it, and we're moving forward.
Where are your products available? How do you distribute them?
Yes, well, at the moment, mainly like we're online, of course, and we have in Queens we have 2-3 cafes, like a juice bar around, and we mainly distribute like from online and email. And I'm actually looking now for like a distributor and somebody that can help us like launch the product a little bit more, because we're literally like we finished our preparation like recently, so now we are good to go. But yeah, so we're definitely looking to expand.
I have a feeling we're going to be in touch with you because we're launching an e-commerce section to our website for this agency. So you never know.
There we go. Never know. So it's always good to connect with people and other entrepreneurs,
Thank you. So does anybody have any questions for Federico, and any comments? Go ahead, Sharon. Unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Sharon McDermott, a licensed acupuncturist. So interesting to me on that. I just want to know what your price point was on that, retail wise.
Yes, retail, we go for $350. Some places, some cafe, they go to $375.
And how many pieces are in there?
In one bag, there are 5 to 6 pieces. Yes.
Can you share the ingredients with us? Or?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, this is the original. We're working on a vegan version and a coffee version coming up soon. But the original literally only has organic peanut butter, organic honey, premium grass-fed, whey protein, grain, oats, and chocolate
Thank you.
Nothing else.
We have on, it's marathon season, and on November 1st, we're hosting, since there's no New York City Marathon this year, but we have people who run and raise money for us.
Yeah.
So we're hosting a marathon starting at our Belrose campus and running through the Queens Farm on November 1st. So if you want to share some samples for our runners, that would be great.
That would be great. Yeah, actually, one of my friend, actually my wife's friend, started training to do the New York Marathon, was like his dream and stuff. And he started eating the Rico's Power Bites, and we have actually his testimonial saying that he can't really like, they actually saved him because every 12 miles, he would just pop one in his mouth and kept on going. And it's like, it was really useful. So why not? Absolutely. I'll be happy to share some samples.
Thank you. That would be great.
Be in touch. Thank you. Anybody else want to ask a question or comment about?
Hi, Lisa Hanna. Hi.
Hi.
I just want to ask, would you be interested in advertising as, an accounts rep for the Wave newspaper? We're in Rockaway Beach. I have various different options that you can choose from print to digital. And also there are all, a number of local health organizations that may be interested in picking up your product that can help you, expand.
Yeah, why not?
Share your contact information and do that as a separate conversation, and then you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, Jay. We have my friend Jay here. Unmute yourself and just give us a little bit of an introduction. I'll say I've known Jay for a couple of years. He's a world-class photographer. And when the pandemic hit, that took the wind out of that business. But you'd been, somewhat, but you'd been going great guns with another line of work over the past couple of years. So tell us about that.
So me, just like Federico, I'm a competitive athlete, come from a family of athletes. My sister, is an Olympian. She ran the 800 in London, 2012. And, my brother was an alternate. My dad played football, granddad played football. Everyone, is involved in one way or another with sports. And, for me as a wrestler and as a jujitsu player and a judo player, a lot of times I need to get in multiple workouts a day. So, and you don't always have immediate access to a shower. So I, didn't want to smell, like a wildebeest when I would get to work. So I would go and train in the morning, go to work without the benefit of a shower, and then go back to train, after work was over. So I, needed something that was, in terms of a deodorant, that was super duper strong, but still, not have all of these dangerous chemicals, and so on. And like Federico, I've always watched what I ate, right? Always super mindful of labels and, making my own food, my own granola, my own jerky, making my own, everything, my own kombucha, so I'm super duper health conscious. I go out and I hunt. I prefer, foods that I've harvested myself, right? Even feed my dog, fresh foods that are harvested from stuff like that. So I'm super duper mindful of it. But the last frontier that I had was a lot of the things that I was putting onto my skin. So my quest started out, trying to find a perfect set of products. And it began with my deodorants, right? And, I used to use this one product, and again, litany of names and chemicals on the deodorants and antiperspirants, even worse. So I started, cooking things up for myself. Years and years and years later, I came up with the perfect product. It's Clean Warrior deodorant, has activated charcoal in it, shea butter, coconut oil. And the problem with a lot of all natural deodorants is that, they might smell great when you put them on, but then as soon as you sweat, they wash away, right? Or they don't smell great at all, or, they don't do a good job at absorbing the moisture. So, those are like my challenges, right? And, so we put together a nice little list of ingredients that solved each one of those problems, right? And, so I'm super duper happy with this. So that's one product. We have a shea butter, right? A whipped body butter, which I'm also very proud of. Again, your skin is the largest organ in your body, so trying to make sure that I tended to everything. Once I solved the problem of the deodorant, then I moved on to the body butter. Once I solved the problem of that, it was like, oh, now I need a beard oil and a hair, something for my hair. Solve that problem. Then last frontier was my detergent. So I have an all natural detergent here that I love and I'm very proud of. So all of those things I've been doing. And then, COVID hit, right? So me being an athlete and not being able to train the way that I want to, I decided, you know what? I'm doing a lot of amazing things as far as I'm concerned in the schools, teaching judo and jujitsu and various fitness classes, using a whole, modality, a combination of training modalities from, animal flow to yoga, to some strength-based stuff. And, I'm an older guy, as you guys can tell by the gray hair crew on my face. So me still going out there and competing against these 20-year-old athletes or fresh out of college and still, kicking their butts, I have to be, mindful of, of staying healthy, staying loose, staying, having nice, flexibility, good strength, all of those things combined, whereas these young boys can wake up and, fresh out of bed and everything. Me, I have to warm up for the warm up, right? So, I try to look at myself as being like a holistic athlete, right? So I'm mindful of what I'm putting into my body. I'm mindful of what I'm putting onto my body, and I'm mindful of the types of exercises that I need, especially as an older athlete. Your testosterone starts to tank, so you really, really have to be mindful of not only of what you eat, but the types of workouts that you're doing. So I started to offer that online, right? And I'll put it up in the chat right now. So, here's where all of the products can be found, and also the workouts are there as well, right? So it's Clean Warrior products and Clean Warrior workouts. So it's been going pretty well. And a lot of times when you start talking about stuff like deodorant and lotions and things like that, it's a very personal thing, right? So we were selling things in the grocery stores and in a lot of the food co-ops all throughout Manhattan. But we decided to pull back and just sell primarily on the website, because it's really about, I find that once I educate people on these things and, my desire to avoid some of the problems that, folks have in my family, like, early Alzheimer's and so on, unfortunately, is something that, I've had to deal with my grandmother. And, just my desire to avoid, putting a lot of those harsh chemicals and aluminum that's found in a lot of the commercially available deodorants and antiperspirants, so my trek began there. And I find that when I'm able to educate people around this and talk to them about it, it works a lot better than them just seeing the product up on the shelf, right? Because ingredients matter, right? Whether you're cooking or you're putting something together to put onto your skin, ingredients matter. So, I've decided to pull back and just do, talking to athletes, talking to gym owners, talking to trainers, talking to, yoga instructors. And if you notice, our logo is actually a logo. It's a yoga logo, right? A yoga pose. So, but yeah, so that's basically it. Trying to make sure that I cover the products, making sure that I'm offering the workouts, and making sure that I'm mindful of everything that goes into my body as well. So, yeah.
I want to ask this question jointly of Federico and Jay. What have been some of the challenges that you faced during the pandemic, with your products? Either one, speak both of you.
I mean, for me, the biggest problem that I've had has been more, me and, just because it's not just the pandemic, right? It's also the loss of work, the loss of friends who have died of COVID. It's loss, right? And in addition to needing to pivot and figure out things. So the hardest thing for me personally has been, just sort of dealing with that sense of loss, but still not letting it, be debilitating, having it be sort of, more as a source of strength, right? Because, one of the things that I find as a competitive athlete is I've been through hard things before. I've had, you train for months and months and months and then get injured, and then all that you've been working for is down the drain until you heal up. So, using those things as a source of strength has been, I guess, the real challenge for me, but dealing with the loss.
Thank you. Federico, what have you, I know you mentioned the gyms, them closing, but
yes, exactly. Well, the gym's closing for sure, but that's all part of the business side, and like my friend here, I was also, I'm used to change. I'm used to travel. I lived in China for 5-6 years. I learned Chinese before be able to speak English, and I'm used to change. So yes, business wise, I'm a stuntman. I work on sets, training, doing all my martial arts. All of that I had to stop, and I had to focus more on a business that initially was more my side business, while now is quite the opposite.
Right.
And but to me, it was definitely the fact that everybody I know, all my family is in Italy, and I've been in a situation where even though my green card has been approved since 2 years ago, I still didn't get it for some reason. Nobody knows why. And I'm still waiting for this interview that was supposed to be in March and stuff like that. So pretty much I'm stuck here, and I cannot leave because then coming back would be some kind of trouble, even though I have my work permit and travel permit and everything. But the lawyer said, don't leave until you have this interview. But now we don't know what the interview is going to be. And I lost my dad, my grandma, my aunts. They were all in Italy, and I'm not be able to go back. That's definitely what hit me the most, more than, of course, than surviving with the business. But, you know, I think family and health comes first, no matter what. If you don't have that, then, you know.
It does sound like in both of your cases, being an athlete and the ability to see through pain and endure has helped you in this period.
Yes, for sure. Like you said, like I'm sure, like I had a lot of like experience through competing originally before turning into being a stuntman and an actor, where you endure with this kind of thing. So changes, you know, you go down for a moment, but you have to get back up and then figure things out and try to learn and understanding, okay, from your mistake, or in this case, from whatever is happening, that even if it's out of your control, you know, it's like, okay, how do I deal with this? I think I'm used to that line of thoughts and moving forward, you know.
Does anybody want to ask any questions of Jay or Federico? Go ahead, Lisa. Is that you, Lisa, pointing? No? Okay. No? Okay. Well, thank you very much for giving your presentations. Hang in there, because we go around the room now and I check in with people, and we haven't seen some faces recently. Melinda, would you mind checking in with us? Melinda Murray? There we go.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. It's glad to be back.
For those people who don't know what you do, just give a thumbnail description and just fill us in on what you've been up to.
Okay. I run a nonprofit foundation named after my son. It's called the Dominic A. Murray 21 Memorial Foundation, Dom Heart 21 for short. We provide free youth heart screenings for youth to identify underlying heart conditions that can be at risk for potential death or debilitating conditions. We provide CPR and AED training in communities for businesses, schools, places of worship, and etc. So CPR, AED training for all. And we donate AEDs as well as partner with organizations to provide AEDs in their workplaces at a discounted rate for those who can afford it. To date, we have, through our heart screening, screened 5,000 youth. 101 lives have been saved through that screening, and we've trained over 13,000 in CPR. Since the COVID pandemic hit, we have transitioned to virtual trainings, but we do continue to donate and place those AEDs in communities as they are critical. So that in a nutshell is what we do. I have provided our contact information in the chat group, and I'd love to connect with the many businesses, especially also Federico and the other gentleman who's all the athletic.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, there might be some synergy there. Okay, thank you, Melinda. Welcome back. Tress, we don't often get a chance to have you speak, but would you mind just filling us in on how things have been going? You know, you had a lot of farmers markets and events that you were going to. What's going on?
Good morning. Hi, I'm Tress, one of the moms at Mom's Kitchens NYC. We are a catering house, and we do full bakery, fresh breads, cookies, and brownies. So recently we were working with QCP, and we do the Crumb Club every month, which is a program where we raise funds for QCP, and we provide the fresh baked goods every month. And so in the meantime, we've been working at farmers markets. They started opening up, but the season is coming to a close. And that was one of the areas where we lost a lot of traction over the last 6 to 7 months, but we've had at least 2 to 3 months of being able to do farmers markets, so that's helped a bit. And we look forward to going back online for the holiday season, because many folks are not gathering for large holiday parties, and that's where one of our major fundraising issues arise. So we're going to have to find a way to make that work over the next few months. So we're doing well. We're holding our own and doing well. Everyone here is holding their own. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Tress. Neil Fleischman, we haven't seen you for a while. Would you mind checking in and just telling us, again, for people who don't know you, what you do and what your organization is doing?
Absolutely. Thanks, Alex and Wendy. Great to be back and see everybody again today. My name is Neil Fleischman. I am the board chair at the Queens Botanical Garden in Flushing. When I do have time for my day job, I'm the area president of a company called Payday. If you can't tell by the name, we provide payroll services and also employee benefits, so medical, dental, vision type things for small to mid-market companies. You know, nonprofits are always an area that I've been involved in with business. I guess I kind of consider myself a nonprofit advocate. I'm on the nonprofit committee at the Queens Chamber of Commerce. I started a nonprofit think tank group called Mission Control almost 2 years ago that tries to help provide education and collaborative situations for nonprofits. And yeah, I apologize. This is a super busy time of year for my day job as well as over at Queens Botanical. So I don't have to tell anybody that it's been a challenging year for nonprofits. We had a bunch of turnover in key positions as well. So we just brought on a new development director. We hired a development consultant for a capital campaign, a new marketing manager, in the middle of strategic planning. It's audit season, you name it, all these crazy things are going on at once. So I apologize you haven't seen me in a bit, but I'm happy to be here today and look forward to continuing to attend and be part of it.
So what are the plans for the public to go into the botanical gardens as the weather, yeah, go ahead.
We've been open since the third week in July. And, people were clearly happy to have an outdoor space to go to. We were having on average during the week about 400 to 500 visitors a day. On the weekends, obviously a lot more depending on the weather. Now, unfortunately, with all these COVID clusters that we've all read about. And so we're actually in a yellow zone in Queens, which limits us to what goes on. As an example, a very successful event for us every fall is an orchid show, which we had last weekend. We can only have 25 visitors at a time. So, usually we have, 500-600 people easily at an event like that, maybe 1,000. So we had to do over the course of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, people had to make reservations. There were, 45-minute time slots, 25 at a time. So it's been very challenging, to say the least. But we're open. We stay open throughout the winter. We don't charge admission after this month. So starting November 1st, it's free admission. So it's been a challenge, but we're happy to. We're glad we can provide an outdoor oasis for people because we've all needed it.
Great, thank you. Josie, welcome back. I wanted to check in with you, and I guess this applies to Nancy as well. So Josie and Nancy have worked jointly recently on a bridal expo, along with a couple other people who are not here. So who wants to be the spokesperson to explain how that has gone and what your plans are?
Sure. So good morning, everyone. I'm Jose Nitineo. I am a wedding planner. I own a wedding planning company located in New York and New Jersey. At the moment, we are offering a day of coordination for wedding, as well as all type of events, especially online events. So for us right now, we are doing a lot of virtual events. Tomorrow, I am hosting my first series of workshops for a company for women's. And coming along is an event, a Halloween party that we're doing online as well. You are all welcome. Customs are welcome. This is gonna be next Thursday, the 29th at 7 p.m. And yes, as you mentioned, we had our first virtual bridal expo. It was very successful. We are working on the second one, and I'm sure Nancy has other good stuff to say about it, so I'll pass it to Nancy.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nancy Vargas, so happy to be here. I'm CEO of DH2 Chauffeur Transportation, and what we do is provide safe and private ground transportation services. So from taking you to the airport, to a wine tour, to a wedding, to an event, anything to do to transporting passengers from point A to point B with that human touch, that human experience that I'm so proud of. We also launched during the summer DH2 mobile detailing service. And we thought that it was just going to be a short, sweet summer thing. And it's now being structured as a business because there is a business there for us. And what started to be just, friends and families and neighbors is now growing into fleet management, going to either people's homes because we learned that people don't like going to the car wash. It's just too much time. And if you can wash your vehicle at home, you don't want to be bothered. You could be doing other things. You could be with the kids. You could be cooking. You could be cleaning. You could be, I don't think so. But anyway, we just realized that this is a necessity, is not a luxury, and we're really growing in that avenue there. As far as the Wynn Bridal Expo, Alex, I'm also happy to report it's been very successful. We had our first virtual bridal expo last month. We had about 63 people register, of which there was about 50 or 55 brides. We gave them a grand prize, which was a 4-day, 3-night honeymoon to Riviera Maya in Mexico, which was really great. And, we're growing, we're excited. What started as simply a support group for wedding professionals, sort of just kind of, went from just supporting each other during the pandemic to then talking about PPP and EIDL. And when all of that was behind us, we said, well, we've been a support to each other. Why not be a resource to our audience? And that's how Wynn Bridal Expo came about. So we're really excited about moving that forward. We're growing, and I'm just so grateful to Josie Michelle Events. They've been wonderful to work with, from helping us just putting everything together, to the vendors that are our founding members, which is a photographer, a videographer, a DJ, of course, Josie Michelle Events, myself, Julie, who has a full figure, couture place out in Long Island, Juan Vides, who has been our facilitator, which I really appreciate. So, I'm really proud of the work that we're doing. I feel that there's only good that comes out of it because it started from a good place, which is being a support to each other and now being a resource to our audience.
Thank you. Nancy, you and Josie have been an inspiration to this group from the very beginning. And we really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
For
So are
somebody
you
whose
and
business
everyone.
was so dependent, for somebody whose business was so dependent on travel and tourism and business travel, to have it all cave in, but to keep on going, it really is inspirational. Same with you, Josie. So I wanted to ask Thomas, Mr. Farrell, our resident counselor, to chime in. I don't know, I think you might have heard the presentations that Federico and Jay gave. Do you have any observations or legal advice for the two of them?
Yes, I do. First, I have to admit, I was a little surprised that Federico was so willing to disclose the ingredients to his product so rapidly. There may be something unique about either the proportions or the way you put them together. The ingredients themselves are not that unusual, but there's something you're doing that's right and that's different from your competitors. And the same with the other gentleman with his body products. So I suggest first that you speak to an intellectual property lawyer to see if your products are either patentable or otherwise, protectable. Especially the market that you guys are going into, there's a lot of big companies with giant resources, and they're not afraid to rip people off and take their ideas and their products and market them themselves. So before you come to me or to anybody else, I'd say, please go to see an IP lawyer. And then secondly, Federico, you mentioned in particular getting a distributor, which means you're going to have to sign a contract with that distributor. And so I urge you, again, to see a lawyer, either to prepare a contract that runs in your favor, or at least to review whatever contract is offered to you, so you don't wind up signing something that you're not 100% sure what the contents are.
Yes, for sure. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for that, Thomas. You know, like you mentioned, a lot of the ingredients are, very sort of common. And I think that particularly, for really health-minded people, they want to understand and know for sure by reading the label that you don't have, any mysteries in the ingredients list. But like you said, how they come together, what the process is, and all of those things can be jacked.
Yeah. Yeah. And you also, even when it comes to signing, say, a distribution agreement or a manufacturing agreement, you want to make sure that those contract parties aren't taking your products and then, turning around and giving them to somebody else to manufacture. So you want non-disclosure agreements or non-disclosure provisions, I should say, in a lot of your different contracts.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. So we also have with us Martin Ridgers, who is the world-renowned insurance expert, commercial and otherwise. And I wanted to ask the same kind of question of him. Do you have any advice for these two entrepreneurs in terms of what kind of insurance they might consider or what concerns they might have with regards to insurance?
I'll go first back what Tom was saying. The first step is to look at all the legal aspects of what they're getting into, whether it's with vendors or suppliers, and to work with the attorney and their insurance broker on the indemnification clauses as well in contracts, because they can use certain words in certain ways and put somebody in a lot of trouble, depending on how they do those things. The other thing is to look at where you're getting your products from, whether they're domestic or foreign. There are a lot of dangers with bringing in foreign products without coming through a distributor, because the US law stipulates that whoever brings it into the country becomes 100% responsible for the product. And then to look at, again, if you do start manufacturing up, then you've got to look at now your exposures of supply and distribution and how you can ensure those so that you can maintain your business if something happens to those distributional supply lines.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Jay,
thank you.
Federico, anything you want to add?
No, like those are very definitely useful information for me regarding like how we get the ingredients and stuff. They're all locals. Like I have how to say, I get all the ingredients from an organic. Sorry, now it's skipping my mind. The English right now is too early to.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you live in the Valley?
I'm in Queens.
Okay, but your telephone number is California.
I used to be in California for like 8 years, and then we moved here for acting. My wife was on Broadway, so they called her for a main part, so we had to move here.
All right, because my mobile number is a 310 number, so I'm Long Beach. So
oh, here we go.
You're up in the Valley.
Yes, I was in Studio City. Yes, but now I'm here in Queens.
So I got a question for Martin. On Saturday, Chelsea's playing Man U, and doesn't look good for Chelsea. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, but they've got a lot of newer players. Coach has now got 1 year's experience. They did draw yesterday with Seville, and the bets were they were going to lose the game. So that's a good sign. And they went through a year where they couldn't bring in anybody. Now they brought in a whole bunch of new players, and they've got to adjust them in. Yeah. So, Man United is looking stronger, but they're also showing the same weaknesses and not having their players in tune with each other completely.
Okay. If I could just interrupt for just a quick moment, I wanted to just offer a mode of suggestion in terms of branding and building your communities as you guys are developing your brands. The legal advice, tremendous. Definitely also have a good sense of your sourcing, which is the advice that you've been given. But I also want to suggest that you seriously consider creating small hyper-local communities. Build your evangelists, build the people who can't live without your brand, and really fortify those relationships. And the reason why I say that is when you start to develop that brand and you extend outward to editorial and PR and so forth, and accentuating that brand, you want to be able to always rely back to your evangelist group who will be able to help fortify that message. And as you go into the next steps also of advertising and marketing and so forth, just continuously look to build those communities and to build those groups. So I apologize for interrupting, but I just wanted to offer that bit of suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I agree 1000%, Allison. I appreciate that. I mean, to me, that was one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn because initially putting things into the grocery stores is what I thought my original, path would be. And then it proved to not be worth it for my business model, because there were so many layers. The distributor wanted to cut, the grocery store wanted to cut, all of the sales and stuff like that we had to do came from our end. And then before you know, it was like we were, just not doing as well as we would if we invested in those, influencers and various folks that are, have an audience already,
Right. And if you need any further advice, my contact information is up there. Happy to, share and connect, not necessarily just doing the hard sell, but my experience, whatever it is that I can offer to you guys, please know that we're available here.
Okay, I'm going to ask Nabil to chime in, and then Sharon has a little bit of an announcement that she'd like to make. Go ahead, Nabil.
Good morning, guys. As some of you know, I am a marketing consultant, and one of the core areas I work on is pricing that Jay was touching on, and it's really crucial, for both of you guys, Jay and Federico, to start thinking from now in pricing your product so you can go in retail later on. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to grow. If you focus only on the online business, it's going to limit the distribution tremendously. So you guys know, according to statistics, over 80% of business is being done at the retail level, and only 20% at online. So people think it's the reverse. It's not. Online basically complements retail. 77% of US consumers shop online, and then they go buy the product from the store. So it's extremely important to start from now incorporating in your pricing structure the cost for the wholesaler, distributor, retailer. Otherwise, down the road, you're going to be very limited in where you can go and, what you can do. And what Martin mentioned, and Thomas as well, is very important. And looking at the trademark, looking at the intellectual property rights, to start protecting that from now, so that you build on solid foundation. And this is really areas I work on. My background is in global marketing, so I've done the whole supply chain aspect and know how to put the pieces together. And also Thomas mentioned manufacturing locally and ingredients, which is crucial. So start in finding resources locally and then expand outside, and think of putting made in USA on your product as well. So we can chat about these
Thomas
things.
Thomas had one more comment, and then I'm going to ask Sharon to speak. Go ahead, Thomas.
Thanks, Alex. Nabil reminded me that when we're talking about doing business online, it's important to keep in mind that if you're doing a significant amount of business in another state, you may have to register with the state tax authorities, Connecticut, New Jersey, wherever you're doing business. Because if you do enough business, you'll have to collect sales tax and remit it. And you may also eventually wind up having to pay income tax. It's a little more complicated than I can go into on this forum, but just bear in mind that when you're doing business online, you may be doing enough business in other states that you have other responsibilities.
Thank you, Thomas. So Sharon McDermott, we have, she has a workshop coming up, I think.
Yes, yes, thank you.
About it?
I want to apologize. I'm getting my bathroom done, so there's a lot of noise going on. So it just started now, of course, when I want to talk. Yeah, so I'm doing it's really a private workshop. I usually go through Nassau Community College, which I already did this workshop, but it's been a very successful one. So it's called How to Heal the Gut, Thyroid, and Immune Axis with Chinese Medicine and Diet. So I'd encourage you, if you have any interest or know someone at all who's been suffering in any of these 3 areas, that I can start opening their eyes to other ways of healing. And that's going to be next Thursday on Zoom from 7 to 9 p.m. That's October 29th. And it's a very reasonable fee of $30. So again, it's a 2-hour course. And if you're interested, you can pay me first, and then I'm going to send the Zoom link to you. So some good information for that.
And you put that information in the chat window, I see. Okay.
Yes. I had an offer to put it on Facebook, but I'm trying to keep this sort of like more private. And so I'm not quite sure I want to put it on Facebook at the moment, because I had a situation in another group where it got hacked pretty badly.
Oh.
So although I do have everything in Zoom under control, but just trying to keep it small, like not more than 20 people.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you very much.
If somebody purchases that but can't attend, you could send a link with the video afterwards.
I'm not doing it that way. They have to come and they have to do it. The reason I'm doing that is for a little bit of protection on my own, so that they're not taking that information somewhere else.
Gotcha. You know, as evenings are hard for me. That's the only reason, but I would like to attend. Maybe I'll follow up with you on a sidebar then.
Sure,
All right,
that would be
thank you.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, and John brings up a good point. Anybody who wants to connect, please don't rely on this group. You know, make your own connections. Put your contact information in the chat window. And if it's okay with everybody, what I do is send the email list with the names of the group members to the general audience, the members themselves, so that you can also follow up that way. Does anybody have anything else he or she would like to bring up before we leave the group? Okay, go ahead, John.
Just looking for team members, you know, looking for business development managers. You know, I keep saying to people who are looking for a home, a career, you know, we have a couple of spots that we're looking to fill. And if you have somebody in mind, send me their resume. I'll connect them with my COO, but we're actively looking. So if you're looking for somebody who's in business development, please send them my way.
Just describe briefly your business for those who don't know.
Yeah, so basically we're a full service security guard company. We provide security guards, concierge, and fire safety directors. We have about 650 to 700 employees. Just fast growing company, you know, great group of people, and just really looking to kind of find somebody to come in to fit that culture. And that's it.
Thank you. And you're doing a booming business from what I understand. Okay. Well, thank you very much, folks. We're a few minutes shy of the 10:30 time, but I really appreciate all your time. Federico and Jay, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you.
And Federico will be in touch with you about some of those samples for Wendy's event. And Jay, thank you again for that. We'll the same thing, you know, for our e-commerce platform, we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We appreciate it.
Much.
Take care,
Great
folks.
week, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Take care, everyone.